and welcome. So in this video, I've got 3 exercises for you that are gonna help you take your piano playing to the next level. Now we're targeting 3 very specific aspects of your piano playing abilities in this video. So first things first, we're targeting probably the most requested exercise ever, and that is, it's a speed exercise. Everybody wants to play fast, so we're gonna dive into that. The next thing that we're gonna be looking at is hand independence, and this is probably the most challenging skill to develop as a piano player. It's something that you never actually really fully master. It's always a work in progress. So I've got some great hand independence challenges for you here. And then finally, we're gonna be looking at what's probably the most important skill to focus on. Everything's important, but this one's really important because this is control. And if you can be in control of your hands and those little tiny nuances, that's gonna be what takes your playing from good to great and gives you what you need to be a very impactful player. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, one of my most favorite ways to target speed when it comes to playing the piano is using Hanon exercises. These have been around forever. I'm fairly convinced since the dawn of time, really. And they're a fantastic way to not only develop speed, but also to make sure that you're also developing the control, the fine movements in your fingers. So if you ever feel like you're kind of sluggish between your 4 and your 5 finger, this exercise is not only gonna help you be a faster player, it's gonna help you to really develop skill and control between the fingers. So let's dive in. Hanons are awesome because you don't have to read notes. You just have to learn a pattern. So for this particular Hanon, I've selected Hanon number 10. You're going to play C with your thumb. We'll just look at the, this is my right hand. I had to think about that. We'll just look at the right hand for now. So you're gonna play C, and then you're going to move your 5 finger up 1 from the position. So if each finger kind of gets a note, you're gonna go C, and then this guy's gonna go whoop, all the way up to A. And then you're gonna let go here and just move down and play that pattern. So it would be 1, reach up 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 5. So you notice when you do this movement, it kind of lets you bring your thumb up to where it's going to be next, which is a really, really important point for speed. You always need to be setting yourself up for success. So while I'm playing this slow, that's okay because to get fast you have to start slow. I'm going to start to speed up here a little bit. And we can land back on the C. Now I'm going to provide a download for you so that you can see this pattern ascending and descending on notation with your right hand and your left hand. But I just wanted to show you the pattern and then teach you how to actually develop that into something quick. So number 1, make sure you start slowly and you nail this down at a slow tempo first. Number 2, when developing speed, you must practice with a metronome because it doesn't count as speed development if you're all over the place. If you're inconsistent with your tempo, like that's not well-developed speed. That's just having fun. And you can have fun if you want. But to develop speed, you need to be consistent. That is really, really important. So set your metronome, find a tempo that you can play this at comfortably, and once you're there, you're gonna increase your tempo by 3 to 5 BPM. So you're going to be able to play it quite fast, as long as you can stay in control. I'm staying relaxed through my wrist. There's a little rotation there. And that's helpful. The other thing that's helpful is to kind of accent this, that 1 beat in each section. 1. So if I'm targeting with my thumb to land on the 1 beat for each measure, that really, really helps me to kind of stay on track and stay on tempo. So you can do that with your right hand. Your left hand's especially excellent because in this pattern, you're working that 4 and the 3. And you will find that you have to play the left hand a fair bit slower in this case. So just be prepared for that. They don't have to be the same speed. Usually our left hand needs a little bit more love and attention to get up to speed, and especially because we're rocking back and forth on that 4 and 3. The 5 finger is gonna wanna pop up. Just try to stay relaxed. And you're gonna get faster. All right, moving on to hand independence. Now this is the one that gets me every time. You have to have a sense of humor when you're developing hand independence because The whole point of hand independence work is that you have to get your hands to cooperate on something that they don't want to cooperate on. So there's immediately that frustration factor. So just accept that it's gonna be difficult. Allow yourself to laugh and smile about it and just trust the process that you will get there. It just might take a little time. So don't feel pressure to get this one right away. So what I'm gonna have you do is we're gonna actually be working with some fun rhythms between the hands. We're gonna start as simple as we can, and then I'll give you some tips for increasing this in complexity. So with our left hand, we'll start here. We're gonna be playing, you can just play a fifth on C. So you're gonna play it on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're playing on the 1, the and of the 2, and the 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's not so bad, right? But we're gonna do something different with our left hand, our other left hand. See, it's tricky. This is my right hand. We're gonna do something different with our right hand. To begin, I just want you to play C on all the downbeats. So that means you're gonna be playing it on the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 4, which by itself seems very simple. But when you try to play these alternating rhythms between the hands, it can derail very quickly. So we've got visuals for you on screen to help you track what's happening, but I'm gonna go very slowly, and here's how it's going to sound. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if you can do that, pat yourself on the back. If it's still a struggle, don't worry, it'll take a little time to get it. You can tap it on your legs if that's helpful too. So it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a great way to get used to the back and forth movement. Once that becomes easy, you gotta up the challenge. And so I find even if you don't change the rhythm between the hands, but you just change what you're doing with your right hand, it gets difficult all over again. So I'm gonna be playing the notes of my 5-tone scale in my right hand while I maintain that same rhythm here. And this will still be on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 beats. So it'll go like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. So if you can do that, then it's time to switch it up between the hands. And this is where I really fell apart because now we're gonna put the downbeats in the left and we're gonna put the fun rhythm in the right. And so your brain's gonna be like, what are we doing? But this is all part of it. It only counts as hand independence work if it's making your brain hurt a little bit. So now we get the rhythm in our right. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you want to play the scale in the left hand, just like we did the other way, feel free to. So this is a great starting point for you to begin developing that hand independence. Have fun with this one, and good luck. All right, my third and final exercise for you has to do with control and dynamics. So we've got something notated for you. It's so pretty, it's very short, it's very simple, and if you don't know how to read notes, don't worry. You can watch my hands play through it and learn what to do. In the downloads for the sheet music, we're gonna have this presented for you 3 different ways with 3 different sets of articulations and dynamics that are going to challenge your control, and this is what's going to give you the skills to really communicate through the things that you play. Often people will say to me, well, when I play it, it sounds like this, but when so-and-so plays it, it sounds like this. And the difference isn't always that their skill levels are different, that their notes are different, that they're playing wrong notes and this person isn't. That's not it. It's the control that the person has, the ability to create emotion through staccato, legato, loud, soft, and all of those things. So let's see what we can do with this beautiful, short, and sweet melody. So your right hand's gonna start with its 3rd finger on A. You're gonna jump up to C, and then you're gonna go to low C, and then hold D for 3 counts. And then you're gonna go E, tuck underneath, F, G, A. 2, 3, repeat. 1, 2, 3, 1, and then you're gonna tuck. Now The left hand, even if you don't read notes, is pretty simple to read because you've got those chord names above the measures. So you can just follow those because that's what the left hand is doing. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm not using the dynamics yet. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So once you can do that, this is where we get into the fun. And if you need to do this hand separately at first, absolutely go for that. The main thing here is that you're able to really control the pressure and the volume that you're playing with in your right hand to follow what's on the page. So first things first, we're starting piano. That means quietly. So you're going to see if you can get through this line quietly, and then you're going to crescendo. You're going to become gradually louder, but only to about mezzo forte, so that's medium loud. And then you're going to get slightly quieter at mezzo piano. And then you're going to crescendo again and land softly, which is challenging to do when you're playing with your thumb because the thumb is quite crashy and strong. So make sure when you're coming off of that, you practice that reduction in weight in this hand. The final thing that I have shown in this version is we've got a staccato on just that one note there. So see if you can be smooth here. And then the rest of it will be quite smooth. The main focus being, of course, those dynamics. So that'll take the playing from what it sounded like the first time I played it. I'm going to add in the pedal as well. And it's going to make it a little bit more, I don't know, dramatic and maybe pretty. Here it goes. Okay, so that's the first version. Now, once your hands get comfortable with that, you're going to want to change it up so you can continuously be developing that control. So in the next version of this exact same piece, we've got phrases marked. So this is going to tell you where to play smoothly and where to kind of take a breath with your hand. So I'd love for you to still consider adding dynamics, but let the main focus be on those beautiful smooth phrases. So what you'll get is something like this. There's no staccato. It's going to be really smooth. Do a little lift, and then a little lift, and here's the staccato in a new place, and then it's smooth there. Now I've got one more version of this, and this is where things get a little bit crazy because we've got dynamics and we're changing the left hand a bit. So instead of playing dotted half notes that hold for 3 beats, you're playing quarter notes that are staccato. Let me tell you, playing something staccato in one hand while you're playing legato or smoothly in the other hand is really challenging. So that's going to be the big skill here. You want to play legato, which means smoothly connected. So think back to the previous version where we had those beautiful phrases, but this left hand is not going to be holding the notes. Usually I like to play with my pedal because it makes everything sound more smooth and connected and pretty. But in this example, I'm not going to use my pedal so you can really hear that staccato in the left hand. So here we go. Challenging to play staccato quietly. So you'll notice the dynamics are a bit different here. We start loud and we decrescendo and then we are quiet, we crescendo a bit and then we end quietly. And all while playing smoothly and all while remembering to lift in the left hand and not crash into the notes and maintain the right appropriate volumes in our left as we go through the piece. So it's something really pretty that allows you to kind of practice dynamics and articulations in different places. And when you are in charge of the volume of your hands, like not the volume is in size, but the volume is in how heavy you're playing on the notes so that you can control the volume of sound, you are really in control of the experience of your listener. You can create something incredible. So I would encourage you as a final challenge, make your own version of this with your own articulations and dynamics and find something that sounds beautiful to you and see how it sounds. So there you go. That's 3 exercises that you can integrate into your daily routine that are going to help you improve some of the most important aspects of playing the piano. Speed, hand independence, and control with those dynamics. So comment below, let me know what your favorite exercise is and which one you found the most challenging, and have a great time practicing.